So the question is, what are people looking for? And a lot of the gurus proclaim or say you're looking for happiness. And if you found happiness, you would be content. Maybe they're looking for enlightenment, and so they assume when they're enlightened they'll be happy. Or they're looking for some sort of status in life, or whatever the case may be. A lot of times you get that, and then they're not happy. I mean, a short period goes by and they're not happy, and so they're searching again. And I see time after time. I mean, if you don't agree with this, you're probably lying to yourself. But it's probably close to 100% of the people that go to Sangha or groups with a guru and stuff like that, that they will, well, of course, the reason they're there is they're looking for quote unquote happiness, the ultimate search for happiness. And they assume the guru is happy, or they assume Jesus was happy, or they assume whatever it is they assume, but they think they're looking for happiness. As though happiness is a thing, like a car, or this or that, or whatever the case may be. But happiness is a byproduct, actually. So, for instance, you're saying, well, I would like to have a shadow. That's what I want. I want a shadow. But a shadow can only exist if there's something in front of the sunlight to block the sunlight, and then you can have a shadow. You can't have a shadow in total darkness. It's literally impossible. And you can't have a shadow in total sunlight without something blocking it. So there's something there that has to exist before you can actually have happiness, just like the shadow. So, but these, what word do I look for? So these vacuous gurus, which all of them are, by the way, I don't know of any that aren't, and I know a lot. Literally all of them on YouTube, all of them everywhere. From one degree or another, are vacuous in the understanding what happiness is, because they all express the same thing. So what is it that you're pursuing, and you go to you spend 10 years, decades, or whatever, and you eventually just go out of hell with it all, I'm just sick and tired of this, and you try to live your life, but it's never fulfilled. You never have that enlightenment of happiness that you think should exist. And it does exist, by the way. But the problem is, you have to know what it is, that substance that creates the shadow. You have to know what that is. Because with every individual on the planet Earth, that substance is a different substance. So if you put something in the way of the light to create the shadow, or if you put whatever it is that creates the happiness, it may not cause another person to be happy. In other words, a person that doesn't like a certain food, or they have that food, they have this temporary happiness. Well, you give that same food to somebody else, and maybe they die of an allergic reaction. So clearly that's not a happy scenario. So what is it that is causing the byproduct of happiness? I'll tell you what it is. It is the element that satisfies the invisible spirit that you have finally found what What you didn't know you were looking for in the first place, by the way. You finally found it, and that brings happiness forever. And forever and ever and ever. But most people don't know what that is. And it's different for everyone. So I would think, presumptuously, that most people, I may be wrong, but most people that are classified as seekers, seeking enlightenment, seeking whatever it is they're seeking, that they go to sanghas or meetings or groups with gurus or church, whatever it is, they don't know what they're looking for. But what they're looking for, if they are trying to fill that empty void in their heart and soul or whatever, what that is the entity that's creating the shadow, or the entity that's creating the happiness. So, typically what that is we live in a reality of, well, this is the devil's planet, if you will. And so we live in these human bodies, and what we're looking for is never going to be found here. Otherwise, it would be total contentment. Now, people that are evil-oriented or greed-oriented, a lot of times they get what they're looking for, and they're happy. They're happy having their life of evil or whatever. But people that go to gurus and stuff like that, they're never going to be happy. Why? Because they don't know what they're looking for. A greedy person knows that if they have an endless supply of money or power or whatever the case may be, if they get that, they're going to be happy. Unless that isn't what they were looking for. They just didn't know. But I would suggest nobody goes to a Sangha meeting, nobody goes to a spiritual meeting looking for power or wealth or such and such. If they're looking for power, they'll be the guru. So you're not going to go to a group with another guru, because then there's competition. They're going to create their own following, and then they'll have what they're looking for. Give them happiness because they have the power and authority that they're after. But the participants, the seekers that are going there, they're not looking for greed, they're not looking for power, they're looking for something else. And a bandage is the teaching of non-duality. Because that can mess with the mind and the brain. And some people, well, I don't know, maybe most people, eventually hear that enough times and indoctrinate it, it's like the blue pill, and it just kind of, well, it is what it is, and I'm really happy and content with non-duality. Because why? It has stunted your senses, and you've just thrown in the towel, you've given up. If you accept non-duality as your base of faith, then clearly you have given up. Because you're not interested in learning anything. You've thrown in the towel. As though the Creator, God, has come to the end of all development, come to the end of all joy and happiness, come to the end and is bored out of his gourd. Of course that isn't the case. So why would it be the case for you if you're not God? If God is not static, then why should you be? But when you believe non-duality, you've created static. Or you've associated yourself with a static belief system that stops your searching. So what are they searching for? I'll tell you what they're searching for. They're searching for God. But of course they're never going to find God because, well, I shouldn't say never, but you're not going to get what you're looking for because you're not going to find anyone to tell you the truth. Because they're all in the same boat as you. The guru isn't any more closer to the source of happiness than you are. I have happiness in my life, complete and total happiness. But I was never searching for happiness. I was searching for the product that causes the byproduct of happiness. I had no clue that it would actually result in happiness. I just had an insatiable desire for the truth. And I had an unquenchable love for the Creator God. And regardless of the hardships and difficulties, I never threw in the towel. It didn't matter. You have to have the desire within you that is so strong that you're willing to, not only willing, but anticipating to give up your life for it. Now, they say, well, desire keeps the wheel of samsara going and blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, sure. Tell that to Buddha, who sat under the tree. Tell that to Buddha, who spent 10 years of his life in desire and sat under a tree, bound and determined to get something, or he was going to just simply sit there and die. Tell that to Buddha. Yeah, I don't think that's going to go over very well. I can't imagine you actually believe Buddha had no desire. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Of course, he had the most powerful desire that he was willing to give up his life for it. In fact, he did. And as a byproduct, enlightenment occurred, which is happiness. But what was he searching for? And what was the item for him that brought happiness? Well, that was the realization that this reality is an illusion. And that caused happiness for the better part of 30 or 40 years before he discovered what he expressed in the Lotus Sutra, which was every bit as monumental as his enlightenment sitting under the tree. More so, actually. So, why aren't you happy? Because you haven't found what you're looking for. And you don't know what you're looking for. And you're never going to find it talking to gurus that teach you about non-duality. Unless you're content with stagnation. And then you'll have happiness. But I don't think you're content with stagnation. That's why you keep searching. So how are you going to find it? You better talk to someone that knows where to find it, or throw in the towel, or go through the same process Buddha did, and Jesus, and Krishna, or you're going to be discontent the rest of your life. Because you're never going to be satisfied. If you haven't found what you're looking for after several years searching with going to Sangha and gurus and church and this and that, if you haven't found the happiness that you're searching for in several years, you're never going to find it. You can't be going to the same group or a different coloration of the same type of group and expect to find this enlightenment or this happiness. It's never going to happen because you're not looking in the right place. And what makes one person happy, that happens to be a leader, like a guru, for instance, if that person is happy, they may be happy because they have power and authority. More than likely, that's the situation. So if that was your thing that caused you to be happy, then you would have to be the leader of a group of 10,000 people. You would have to have that power and authority and the money that comes and all the things. But That's not what you're looking for. Otherwise, you would be a guru. So, yeah. You're looking for God. You're looking for the thing that you can't find. And God is never going to appear. That can't happen in this realm. It can't, period. End of story. Never has, never will. You have to transcend this realm to even get a hint of God. Even Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane praying to this elusive, invisible God. And it never mentions it anywhere other than Moses said he saw God. But yeah, right. He saw Lucifer. He didn't see God. The burning bush, all that. The God that says go out there and kill everyone. Yeah, that ain't the God that Jesus was praying to. Anyways, so what are you looking for? You're looking for God, but see, the problem is you can't find that. The happiness that puts you on the right track, this God thing, since you can't find God, you have to find you can find God, but you can't find him in this three-dimensional physical reality universe. That's not going to happen. But you can find God beyond this physical reality, but you can't do it using your body and senses. I think you could do it talking to a person that has found God, but it won't be in a group setting. So if you're sitting with a guru in a group setting with another 1,000 people or 100 people or whatever the case may be, you're never going to find what you're looking for because it's a one-on-one scenario. A true guru would only work with an individual, not a group, because it's senseless to work with a group if the intention is to help a person find enlightenment, help a person find God, help a person find the thing that they lack in their life isn't going to be found in a group setting. I know they tell the story about Buddha and the one person that had raised the flower, and they go, aha, there's the guy that got the message of Buddha and he became enlightened and he created Zen and all that kind of stuff. Well, we don't know that for sure. I mean, who knows what that person found? And furthermore, it's 2,500 years ago. It's just a story, that's all it is. You're not a story, you're an individual. You're an individual looking for something that will thank you, thank you, thank you. For the rest of my life, thank you. And no matter what happens to me in my life, no matter how miserable it is, I don't give a shit. Thank you. I'm good. That's what you're looking for. So, yeah, the problem is you're never going to find it because you don't know what you're looking for. You got to find someone that can be one-on-one with you. That's why Jesus said, whenever two or more are gathered in my name, I'll be there. Well, what is the I will be there? When two or more are gathered in my name, I'll be there. Okay, so this person is gathered in Jesus' name. This person is gathered in Jesus' name. Where is the I will be there? Where is that I? Where a lasso it or something? Was he lying? No. But you don't know what that I is or how to find it. You have to find someone that will help you find it. You may feel the I, but whenever the two or more separated, which you can't be together forever. I mean, if you meet up with an enlightened guru, you can't just lock on. I mean, you have to be on your own after a while. So how are you going to maintain that? Because you feel the Spirit when you're together, but when you're separated, it's gone. So how do you maintain it after you separate from your meeting that you feel the Spirit? It's like, oh yeah, that's it. Oh, I feel it. And then when you're gone, shoot, it's gone. So how do you maintain it when you're 100% by yourself at all times and you're not faking it with the non-duality belief system that causes you to just cease all seeking? There's no end to seeking. I mean, to think that God is a stagnant creature or the Almighty or the Creator or the Absolute, I don't give a damn what you call it, but to think whatever it is, that deity that has created everything, to think that that thing is stagnant, why, you've thrown in the towel, buddy. Because it isn't stagnant. Which means you can never be stagnant. Your growth, or whatever it is, has to go on forever and ever and ever. And when you become one with God, it's still a never-ending process. But it's a fun process. When you find the happiness and joy because you finally got yourself on the right track, it is a never-ending source of joy and happiness. Do you think God is unhappy? Of course not. Anyways, I've droned on long enough. Thank you for watching. Bye.